connect, serve, and grow is what you can expect at the House of Reconciliation. Leadership, community, education, wellness, and participation is part of our plan for your spiritual growth and success. Family and faith is a core value for the House of Reconciliation, working to help people find their purpose. Want to make an impact in the kingdom? Ready to tap into your future? Meet us at the House Sundays with Pastor Reginald Campbell, www.houseofreconciliation.org.
I am the seed that grows and advances the kingdom for soul winning. This word, bread of life, that I received today, it's not only for me, but to be shared with others, that they may grow in Christ as well as myself for the purpose of successful living. Thank you. You may be seated. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you in. We're here at the Mother Campus in Greenwood, South Carolina, as well as those that are joining us virtually, and to the Greenville campus and to our global partners. I want to, first of all, apologize. We had a lot of technical difficulties this morning, and we thought we were broadcasting live, and we were not. And so I cannot go back and produce that word. That's why I encourage you to at least come to an in-service once a month. That was a really good rhema word from the Lord. I do apologize because that was one of my better ones, and I don't think I can get that back. That's the difference between cut and paste and copy and speak what you know, and actually allow the Lord to use you as a vessel. So we do apologize, but we encourage you this month to take that privilege. Don't sit outside the gate and just get the dribblings, but actually come and receive the full Monty of the word. It's one thing to watch a game. We have the wonderful Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. You see everybody get happy now, and peace signs and all these things. Whoever their team is, you don't want to be like one team that you got to pay $85 million and fired everybody. You still got to pay that out. That's a team they try to act like that's my team. Yeah, they got mad 3-5 and fired everybody, and that firing caused them $85 million of non-productive income. So if you're in the area, you in Abbeville, Clinton, Lawrence, 96, what's the other one? Calhoun's Falls. What else is down there, Sister Bernice? Waterloo, McCormick, it's Belton. If you're in 30 miles, you ought to at least come once a month, because I know I see the numbers, and you guys are watching, and I'm grateful. But if you really want to get to that next level, you need to be in service. We had great tea and coffee this morning, and it is something you need. And so that's what I say. It's like a game. You can watch it on television, but you don't get the same impact if you were actually in person. So I want us to go and graduate from being a listener to actually becoming a part and associating with the ministry, because we'll be out of here in a few minutes. So, by the time you pull up and your car cool off, you'll be going home, right? I want to go over a couple of things. First of all, thank all of you. We said it this morning in supporting the book, Basic Financial Steps that Teach You How to Make Your Money Work for You. It is a book that I recommend that you get, and I thank those across the world who've purchased the book and those that are going to purchase the book. It's not a book for yesterday. It's a book for today and the future. That is Basic Financial Steps that teach you how to make your money work for you. You can go to one of your fine retailers, or you can go online. You can find it at many of the online app stores. It's a good book that you need to be planting now. I want to honor this month. I believe it's National Military Families Month. Thank you, your family. We cannot even think of some of the things that you have had to deal with in separation, and loved ones that are serving. But we thank God for them. We thank God for you, and know that you're in our prayers. And then to the Native American heritage, this is their month as well. We want to celebrate the Native American and their heritage. Prayers should continue to go out for Nepal. They had an earthquake, and I think they said the toll was around 200 plus people who've lost their lives, and Nepal is not a big little place or island. Number 4, I have a very, very strong male audience. And I mentioned this morning, and I've been trying to understand why, and I've been asking the question, what am I saying that's making a difference in men's life? 60% of my broadcasts, men watch. So I have something now that we as men can do, and that is stand up for women's rights. Stand up and support women. We have right now, it's listening to a report that this country has the highest it have ever had in domestic violence. And there's over 3,000 calls a day. And then we have to look at the unheard voices. And if you are a man, we need you to support your daughters, whether you're married to their mother or not. Your daughters, you are the first ones that they learn how to love. So you set the pace for your daughters, all men, as well as being and learning what it is to be a man and be supportive. Women are not bought products. Women are a gift from God. And as men, we need to learn how to support. They came here already talking, walking, and they had their own brain. And so a lot of things that I don't understand, I'd have to study of why men have such a negative approach when they are a gift from God. This is your mother, your sister, this is your aunt, this is people, little baby girls. We need to support them and stand up for them and support women's rights and equal pay. That's something we need to do. Number 5, we can't just sit around and let domestic violence happen. So we ourselves, and I always say this, if a man has a problem with a woman, it's really not the woman. It's the man has a problem with himself. And there are some things that a woman, neither a dog, neither children can fix in you. We have to stay before God. We're supposed to be leaders. We're supposed to be husbands. We're supposed to be covering. And in today's society, that's not what's happening. So I want to take a moment to honor the late, great Dr. Joe Campbell. He was 86 years old. He was a father of Pentecostal movement in East Africa. He established a church called Deliverance Church in Kenya and Uganda in Africa. And so he has a great story, but he went to get some help in his age, and we lost him. And so to those that are in Kenya, so if you want to hashtag Kenya, that our prayers and our thoughts go out to his family and go out to those that are part of the Deliverance Church in Kenya. He was a great father in the apostolic movement in Africa. So we thank God for him, his life, his support, and the legacy that he has left. We want to talk this morning about self-investment. So for the writers, I'm going to ask you a question right off the bat. Who is your supervillain that keeps you from accomplishing your goals and your tasks? So in Galatians 5:1, it says, stand fast in the liberty wherewith Christ has set you free. Section B of that says, be not again entangled in the yoke of bondage. When I look at what one of the guys that I look at, the great Thanos, that was on the end game, he said, as long as there are those who are not able to accept what was. Now, there are two things you have that you don't use, and you don't use the full substratum of them, and that is earthly citizenship and heavenly citizenship. So what he's saying is there's some things that have happened to you and I on earth that earth can't help us get over. This is why we should have a spiritual citizenship. And it comes from the Bible. You can look at Nicodemus. Nicodemus went unto Jesus by night, didn't want to be. He was a high upper class political person, had the medallions that represented his status in society. And he himself was ignorant, but yet he was smart enough to ask the question. And he asked, can a man enter to his mother's womb and be born again? And Christ told him that unless you're born of the water and of the Spirit, you cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. Many people have earthly things but no spiritual direction. So he says, they will always hinder those who are trying to embrace what can be. And this is where we get to the topic of self-investment. Now, here's the thing. We have to, for the writers, stop putting energy in the wrong places. If you let everything and respond to everything and to everybody who says something, does something, or puts something out there, you will not accomplish your task. Energy in the wrong place. Number 2, we must prepare and protect our future. Your future is greater than today. So there's a thought process that I use, and I said on Wednesday, nothing learned, nothing new. Nothing new, nothing gained. If all you have is what you know, you are already defeated because you have no information for your present. You have no information. And people use this mindset, well, I have a job, and I got a little money in the bank, and I'm okay over here, and, you know, I got my sister, I got my brother. But that's not preparation. That's emergency. And so the problem I have is people try to tell you, and especially when it comes to faith, is that you're supposed to be broke, dumb, and stupid and always in need. Because that's the only thing you can pray about. Is help me with my light bill. An earthly citizen of God understands the purpose of the earth. One of the purposes of the earth is that we plant something. What have you planted in the earth for the earth to reproduce something for you? This doesn't mean you go out this morning and plant a pack of corn. It's bigger than a pack of corn. And see, you don't realize you're a part of earth. What have you planted and instilled and upgraded in yourself that you can produce? Produce. Now, come on. I don't remember the scripture. I think I got it. I don't want to tear it up. It's more blessed to give. I argued with my grandmother, the founder of these ministries. I argued with her for years about that. I said the Bible had it wrong. It's more blessed to receive. And so I realized the giver has the seed. The receiver, if you would go to the grocery after you leave here, much of what you're going to purchase has no seed. If it has no seed, it cannot reproduce. You are a part of the earth. There is an expectation of your earthly citizenship from God that you produce. It don't say work. Work just gets you a check. Work gets you bills. Anybody want to say nothing now? Work gets you responsibilities, and you purchase unhealthy things that does not reproduce. That's what work does. What are you doing? When have you gotten in the face of God and talked to God about what's my gifts, God? You have an identity that no one else has on your thumb, but yet you have no identity in the earth. We must prepare and protect our future. Being happy in the moment does not satisfy the need of tomorrow. Let me say that again. Being happy in the moment does not satisfy the need of tomorrow. Because the need of tomorrow will make today feel pretty bad. So two things you got to do as we get ready for self-investment is, what is my earthly value? What's my value to the little people that I brought in this earth? What is my value? My debt? A little pocket change that they'll blow through in 30 days? What? What have I instilled in my dirt? What seeds have I planted? When have I sat down with my daughters and talked to my daughters? I got one of them getting ready to bring me a bill. But we're going to talk. I may have to find a way. I may have to hustle some of y'all and pay that bill. But she said she was going to bring me her therapy invoices. I said, really? I'm in therapy myself. So what are you depositing? You just can't have these people and leave them and not deposit. Parents today aren't parents of yesterday, and parents today aren't parenting. Can I make it plain? How do you have a 6-year-old going to school with a designer watch and can't even write his own name? I just found that out Friday from a teacher. It's happening. And you're going to go to the school, regardless of your ethnicity, and go off on people, and your child cannot write or read in the 6th grade. But yet they're rocking and knocking a $300, $500 watch. Yes, $1,500 phone, $500. I was talking to a guy, he's a millionaire, and he was like, his son now has a business, and his son's daughter don't feel comfortable if she doesn't have $500+ in sneakers. I said, then she'll never get to school. She has to go to school in $500+ sneakers in order just to feel good about herself. You said it, they walk like any other shoe. They're going to crumple up like any other shoe. They're going to catch dirt like any other shoe. Most of them have white bottoms. Yeah, like you got on a white shirt today. So you should have been playing your violin instead. You come to church looking like Festus. Now you come to church looking like a young man. Guess your job now. You got a girlfriend? Okay, he's saying that. Then when he's saying nah, he said, well, not today. I got a couple of them I'm checking out, see how they rolling. Look at Thong like, yeah, he said, yeah. So he said, yeah, he get it, How are you going to invest in yourself? And this is why I love tea and coffee. Had a wonderful conversation with Bernice. But I got to tell you something. How did I get the self-investment? I was reading an article. A gentleman worked for a company 27 years. And you know what they gave him when he was getting ready to leave? As parting gifts? Used cups and snacks. True story. He had worked for the company 27 years. In the food industry. We have a couple of them right here in Greenwood. I don't want to say anything because I'm going to need them for sponsors, so I don't want to make nobody mad because somebody be up there pointing their finger, talking about y'all didn't even take care of him. 27 years, and when he said goodbye, all they gave him was used cups and snacks. So he became a little angry. And he told his friends, so they posted on social media that he had worked 27 years for this company. And they raised on social media, now don't y'all go do that because I know some of y'all thinking about it now. Let him finish, let him see what he say. They raised over $400,000 for him to retire in. You ready? Yeah, you know the company. Yeah, we need you. You know, we need you. We need you. We can't run it without you. And you just sitting there, in there just working, in there just work. 27 years, and they give you some used cups from some of y'all favorite coffee places. I can't call no names because I'm going to need them for sponsorships, Bernice. So 27 years, and all he received. What are you going to receive when your companies are killing pensions? Right now, the three major things on the table in Congress is Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. And they want to cut them by trillions of dollars. And they say, my financial advisors say, by the time you get to 40 years old, young man, how old are you? There will be no such thing as Social Security. So what do they do with everybody's money that's paid in? And if you pay your money in every week, why do they give it back to you once a month and then want you to die before you get it all back? And yet they're making compound interest off of it. And they want to take it away to do them. And you don't think you have anything to pray about. You worried about sneakers. So this young man worked 27 years. And all he received, so some friends went on GoFundMe and set it up that he generated for him $400,000 to retire. The key today is self-investment. Here's what I'm going to say for the writers. Successful people have organized and structured lives. They know when they're getting up. They know what they're supposed to do. They know how to review what's happening in their day and how to close out things, and they have a plan for tomorrow. This is what successful people do. A lot of people look at Lil Reggie, the broadcast that I do, Lil Reggie. They look at balling on the budget. Successful people have organized and structured lives. They just had the Breeders' Cup yesterday. A horse won $6 million for its owner. What you think they gonna give the horse? Some hay. Some hay and some water and possibly some carrots. What are you building for yourself? Successful people don't wake up talking about, I ain't got nothing to do today. We just gonna ride around. Because when you say you don't know what you're gonna do, that means you ain't got nothing to do. Then you'll be somewhere sick, half dead on your day. I sure wish I would have went to Paris. I sure wish I'd have went to the Bahamas. Well, you can't go now. I'm going to ask you a question. Are you living or surviving? The only person can answer that is you. Because you don't understand the value of your earthly citizenship. Now, I'm going to throw this in here, and this was, where do we say? Matthew, what was the other scripture? Matthew 25. See, when I use this term, self-investment, and successful people have organized and structured lives, there are people that are watching and say, well, he ain't talking about the Bible. Well, let me show you what the Bible said. 5 was wise and 5 were foolish. They heard the same information. You got to make sure you're one of the ones that get it. Because you're not guaranteed anybody going to take care of you. And to all you pretty people out there, what you going to do when you lose your beauty? What you going to do when you lose your handsomeness and your physique? What's going to happen when you had a six-pack and now you got a tub? Everybody ain't over here like Sexy Slim. He's still holding on. All right? So what are you going to do? Because everybody loves your physique. Everybody loves your beauty. But when your beauty turns into aging, what you got? So the 5 wise and the 5 foolish heard the same thing and interpreted it different. Now say this with me. Nothing learned, nothing new. Nothing new, nothing gained. Now it makes sense. If you don't learn, then nothing new is in your life. So here's the thing. Many people are seeking something they haven't earned. Had a wonderful conversation. I didn't drink no tea or no coffee. Didn't want no bad breath when I got up here. And so there are people who are worried about the economy. And they're saying it's a roller coaster. So what's the message? If it's a roller coaster, you should be the only stable thing you have. Instead of drawing up and hiding, this is the time to plant. What do you mean? Spring is how many months? November, December, January, February, March. It's about 5 months away. What can you do different now that will give you a brighter spring? What can you invest in now? What certification can you get now? Well, I don't know what my job gonna do. That's a sign. You don't need it to be on the last day that don't nobody know the plant closing. Somebody say amen. You don't want to see the warning signs. Well, y'all, we may have to go to 32 hours, not 32, 32 hours a week. Well, Cletus, what is we going to do? And let me tell you the mistake people make. They think that you've been with a company 10, 15 years, so you're making $25, $30, $45 an hour. And you think somebody else is going to pay you that on day one. What'd you say? What you say? What you say? How can I start over when I ain't caught up? How can I start over when I hadn't caught up? So you want to go to a job to pay you $50, $60 an hour and you want them to train you. And they're sitting back now saying, what have you invested in yourself? I was loyal and faithful to them. You sound like you was on the Andy Griffin show. How are you going to diversify yourself? I'm going to ask you a question. When do you become important? Now, to the writers, I'm going to give you a couple things and we're going to jet up. Who and what controls your confidence? I got to go down here and then I'm going to come back up here. Who and what controls your confidence? Your confidence should be, first of all, in your God. Number 2, in your substance. What have I deposited within myself? What certifications and skills have I done? Have I started the level of entrepreneurship? Have I started sponsorship? Have I started partnership? Who am I working with to make my ideas better? If I'm sitting around people, tell them this, Bernice, that keep up confusion and drama, then I'm drowning. And some people that keep up mess all the time. I don't care where you go. It's, man, what you doing? How's it going for you? They're trying to ask you because they don't want to really tell the truth on them. See, the one that's in the house, I told a guy he could have been a coach possibly to the NFL, and he got mad at me, and he was like, well, you know, you do things. I said, listen, the bird in the tree never lives. Because parents no longer come along to feed it. So if you don't exercise your wings, you don't take chances, you don't get scuffed up to grow up, then you're never going to fly. You got to get knocked down to learn how to stand up. So I told him, I said, the difference between you and I is you're a bird in the nest. And the difference in me is I didn't wait on anybody to tell me I could fly. I just jumped out there and probably failed. But I flapped my wings and tendons enough until they got strong, and I learned how to catch the currents and fly. You still, what do you mean? Tell me in plain English. You're still dependent on what other people say about you before you do anything for yourself. Other people control your personality. Other people control your money. Other people control your confidence in yourself. Other people make you become unhealthy because they never said anything positive to you. David said, I encourage myself. I don't know how you're going to make it. Listen, I ain't worried about making it. I got a plan. My confidence and my faith is in my substance. My revelation to problems comes from heaven. Y'all act like heaven can't serve earthly problems. And earth is existed because of heaven. Now here's what I'm going to tell you. It's about you now. It's not the brand you wear. People say, oh, you look good. You got on the jacket. This jacket, 40 years old. I just was able to get into it this morning. It's been sitting in my closet older than any of my children. And I know exactly why I didn't give it away. One of them fancy jackets. Y'all don't remember Jones of New York, do you? That's why I didn't throw it away. It still look good 40 years later. See, you have to build something that's sustainable. So even while your little birds are crazy, it has to sustain them until they can lock in. You count them out, and they haven't even stretched their wing tendons yet. It's about you now. Look at somebody and say, it's about you. You've been talking about, tell them I said it, bunnies, because I got something for them. It's about you now. You tell me, well, you talk to me, well, you know, right now we done lost a big contract, and, you know, we don't know what we're going to do. You still got bills. I know what they going to do. If they don't get no money, you going home. Then you come out, oh, Jesus, I need somebody to help me. And Jesus said, didn't you see the sign? What are you going to do between now and spring to make you better? Let me get rid of something that people say, well, it's all up on the Lord. Why did he give you a brain then? You just need to, I'm about to bring the church my wind-up robot. Because it'll only go as far as you wind it up. God did not make you that way for you to be worried about your job. God knew when they was going to start you. God knew when they was going to be in the middle. God knew when the business was going to slow down. And so God has been saying to you all the time, when do you work you? Now, I'm going to give you something, and I'm going to only spend 6 minutes on it because it's about 12 o'clock, and we normally getting ready for football. Right, Cowboy fan? Right. I got to go to my mama's house and eat. Yeah, I got to go to my mama's house. She don't cook this for Sunday. All right, preacher, shut up. All right. Anybody really want to move their life to the next level? Amen. I'm going to give you something that is keeping you bound. And Bernice and I came up with this morning. A healthy no means a positive yes is on the way. A healthy no. Because when you get started, you're going to get rejected. And you're going to fail. It's all a part of the process. Say this with me. It's about me now. And so a healthy no is an indicator. See, and most people quit when they get told no. How many times? Well, you know, they done hired everybody, you know. Did you fill out the application? No, yeah, you know, they took the sign down. Did you not know all those people that they hired are not going to pan out? Yes. And most of them lied on their application because, you know, we lying season now in our country. They lie on their applications. If you don't have HR to verify that you come from the school of Big Lip Charlie, you look at the situation because it looked like a mountain. I can't do that. The Bible said you won't have the fool with you always. Yes, it said with you always. Everybody say that with me. With you always. Your poverty has nothing to do with my inheritance. And I'm not going to take down from being blessed. I would insult my God to say, oh, I hope I'm all right. Lord, like, look, you like to die. And you talking about you hope you're all right? Let me shine my shoe up real quick. Let me show you how all right you're going to be. Don't deny your blessing. And don't put your blessing in things. I got a car. Whole lot. We seen the car today. Nice looking car. Just wrecked. I said, Lord, they had a bad time. Look, Jesus. They got the donut on the back. And they done hit something on the front. So that whole right side just messed up. Nice looking car. Good paint job. Not even from the state. You can't put it. You got to put your substance. You got to have faith in your substance. What have you invested in you that God can stir up with your faith? What have you invested in you? What are you modifying and going back to school or getting certifications for? Everybody ain't for school. If you're going to live in this environment, you're going to need some assets. You're going to have to learn some stuff you didn't think you could learn. And let me help anybody that think they slow. If you're on the slow bus, raise your hand. I'm right there with you. The problem is you try to swallow everything too quick. And it looks big. You got this great big old thick book. Here is your problem. You looking at the entire book when you're supposed to take it page by page by page by page. So you trying to be at the finish line and hadn't even got started. Hey, they say it's hard. It may have been hard for them. This is why if you have heavenly vision, you ask for God to, I can't say I passed on my tests, but the ones I did pass, I had intervention. I would sit there in the middle of the test and say, God, now you know I'm not the smartest one in this room. And I'm not going to remember anything that's on this paper, but I need to borrow your revelation right now to pass this test. All right? So I need you, And so I need you to just let me borrow it because I'm going to stay humble because I know I didn't come in here the smartest one. But if you can help me pass this test, I'm going to be forever grateful. And there's so many tests in life. Every degree that I have, I had to pray and ask God to help me pass it because I couldn't remember, especially when you're dealing with formulas. And I said, Lord, I don't need it forever. I just need to work it out today. So could you temporarily let me be as smart as everybody else? Temporary. So my question to you is, can you handle a healthy no? You have to reposition how you think about yourself. Your size, your color, your tech. I had to look. Oh, Jesus, I want them in here. You know what I'm been to say. They come in. I say, oh, you look just like you. I look better than she do. And they coming in like this. I said, well, what make you better? I ain't going to say what they said because we on air. A healthy no means a positive yes is on the way. You have killed yourself too much. You have limited yourself by no. So as I was sharing with Bernice and she was talking about the people on the job, I said, now tell them, I said, this is time to self-investment. Every one of them need to be taking a class online, sharpening their skills. It doesn't matter if you have to go back to intermediate. Learn, get your reading up because you say, well, they can read like a sixth grader. That's some sixth graders can't read. Eighth graders can't read. Ninth graders can't read and spell and got on $500 worth of clothes, and you dumber than a box of rocks. Yes, I said it. Spell your name. Let me go ask my mama. My name, Buddy. How you spell Buddy? E. Parents, invest in your children's learning. You're not going to win the dressing contest. I got 20 pair of tennis shoes. See how much you can sell them for. And are you smart enough to do something positive with the money? Gonna buy some more tennis shoes. Am I making sense? A healthy no. Bishop Noel Jones would say it this way: rejection is direction. You stuck on rejection. If you're in line with God and you have your heavenly citizenship, no will not be your final destination. Failure is only temporary, but most people are not prepared for success. God bless you. I'll see you soon. And I do apologize again that we did not have a live broadcast today. We thought we were broadcasting, but things didn't work in our favor. So hopefully I've said something that will make you see the difference. Amen? God bless you.